beautiful day to you all, children of God, and welcome to today's edition of God's Protectorates Confraternity's Word, titled How to Revive Nigeria's Ailing Economy, the God's Protectorates Confraternity's Angle. I am yours truly and your regular anchor, Ojomo Olusegun Adebambo. I'm sure a lot of people will wonder that what's the reason for this kind of title, How to Revive Nigeria's Ailing Economy, by a cleric. Yeah, a cleric is concerned about situations around him, especially in his dear country, because he's also a Nigerian, hence this particular topic. Now, Nigeria's several Christian denominations and religious organizations, have been declaring prayers, fasting, and other interventions for decades in Nigeria, yet nothing has changed for the better. That's the reason for this topic. Nothing has changed for the better up till now. Now, mark me please, I haven't claimed that prayers and fasting don't work, but God expects us to work to earn so as to thrive, and that's where the talent God deposited in you comes into play. And again, I have not claimed that God cannot make one rich without toiling, but Nigerians need to become more proactive in terms of looking inwards and propounding strategies for national economic growth. Now, the major bane of growth and development for Nigeria lies in the corruption, selfishness, and greed of our leaders, past and present. The over-profiteering, insensitive, and unfeeling nature of our businessmen, and then the unpatriotic nature of the ordinary Nigerian. No doubt, for now, I want to dwell directly on the unpatriotic nature of the ordinary Nigerian. Yes, we are all aware that the major sectors capable of aiding growth of our national economy include oil and gas, communication, agriculture, banking and finance, and recently mining, amongst a host of others. But again, I'll limit myself to communication and oil and gas. Let me first of all go to the Bible. I like to relate the Bible portion to what I'm about to talk about today. That's in Matthew 15, chapter 15, verse 26, where the Bible quotes our Lord Jesus Christ as saying, "It is not right to cast food meant for the children to the dogs." I'm sure you should start ruminating on that and start getting my drift concerning this topic. Now, let's delve into the issue. Under the communication category, we have Glo Mobile as our indigenous and main player. You will remember that Glo was supposed to be our national carrier at the exit of the almighty Nitel. Glo also introduced and stabilized per second billing and brought down call rates and internet rates at that time, comparatively with the other networks, the other internet networks that were available. Now, I have a Glo line now that I use permanently now for my internet connections. I can even mention the number, not 9, not 5, 0810 764. 0905 081 0764 is my Glo number. I picked it up recently and I use it for internet. Now, my advice is this. I want it to be golden. And please let it spread, please. Let every Nigerian buy and start using a Glo SIM. And let's see what happens in the next 6 months. You see, the main problem we have is that every Nigerian relates the growth or otherwise of the national economy to what enters his or her pockets as personal revenue. He or she doesn't realize that every kobo that also enters the coffers of any truly indigent and patriotic organization also promotes. I started using the Glo line. I discovered that the network has been stable, but the management of Glo needs to curb the idea of forcing people to do night browsing. People should not use their hard-earned money to buy data, and you now compulsorily allocate part of that data to night browsing. Under the oil and gas, we have Dangote as our main indigent player. Of course, we all know the economic importance of Dangote to Nigeria. We cannot You cannot throw that aside. These are companies that Dangote represents an indigent company operating in the oil and gas sector. Yes, there are issues, especially between the NNPC and Dangote Industries, petroleum. But the basic thing that must be realized is that for a company that is indigent and investing its resources in the country, there has to be some level of opportunities, some level of trust handed over to such a company. You see, the thing about Nigeria is, you see, there is no extent of capital flight by both of these companies, by Glo and Dangote. There's no amount of capital flight they might involve in that can negatively affect our national economy as much as what we experience from the multinationals. The multinationals skin us dry. A lot of people shout about, hey, our monies are being stolen by politicians, by public service holders, public office holders, and things like that. The amount that disappears from Nigeria on a daily basis by capital flight through the activities of multinationals cannot be overemphasized. That is just the truth of the matter. If you talk about the excesses of our indigent companies, yes, they have their own excesses too. But of course, there are regulatory bodies there. There are regulatory agencies that should do their work properly. The NCC for the communication, and then the PPPRA for the oil and gas. These two organizations can be emboldened to assist Nigerians to conscientiously ensure that the excesses of price increases by the two industry players are persistently put under check. So these are the issues. Patriotism by majority of Nigerians is a factor that is even ailing our economy. Patriotism as a factor. Unpatriotism in play is part of what is bringing us down. People will prefer outside brands, imported brands to brands that are indigenous. All our manufacturing industries are dead. Nearly all the warehouses have been turned to churches. Yes, I make bold to say that. The churches, the manufacturing industries we had in the 80s, and they are all moribund. They can't produce anything. We depend totally on importation of everything, including spoons. Tell me, that's part of what causes capital flight. People should not be shouting about politicians or public office holders stealing money alone. The capital flight on a daily basis from Nigeria by multinational companies is not an easy thing to reckon with. And I'm not saying that multinational companies should not survive, because some of our own indigent companies too are also multinationals in some other countries. But what I'm emphasizing is that let us become more patriotic. Let the crumbs that fall from the table go to the multinationals. Let the children, the real indigent companies, who are the children, let them eat fat. Let them eat fat. Let them eat and become fat. And then the leftovers should be pushed to the dogs. So that is just it. So it's not something. It's not an automatic. Growing an economy is not an automatic. It takes a lot. People have to be devoted. People have to be ready to suffer. People have to be ready to endure. Otherwise we keep having successive governments who will just come around, say theirs, and when they know that there's nothing they can do, they just put up with some time and leave everything the way it is. The survival and continuity and sustenance of Nigeria is in the hands of every Nigerian, including myself and you. And patriotism is a major tool we have to make use of to achieve this end, to grow out of an ailing economy. Well, that being said, lest I forget, if you are one that has a testimony to share publicly on the goodness of Almighty Jehovah in your life, please follow the prompts and instructions displayed on the incoming flyer. I remain your regular anchor, Ojomo Olusegun Adebambo. God bless you all.